Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing Brother in the Land, Scene 9, Act 2. But before we get on with this video, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my Instagram, which is in the description box down below. Anyways, let's get on with this video. Scene 9, Act 2 takes place in the remains of the Lodge's family shop. Danny is back at the shop with Ben and his mother's dead body. He is in disbelief that he was dumb enough to think that they were going to hunt badgers and that he pointed a gun at the Cartwright family. He went to Ben about this. We get to know that the CDT has done nothing more than give out food which turned out to be poison to kill off the sick and injured. Ken, who had gotten his food from the blue table, had later died from poisoning. The soldiers were acting inhumanely. Sometimes they would switch the food lines to kill random people for entertainment. An armored car parks outside. Danny's dad goes to check it out and then he proceeds to speak loudly, as if warning Danny. He says that he's the only survivor. Upon hearing this, Danny hides himself in Ben. A few soldiers of the CDT hold Danny's dad at gunpoint and take their supplies. Danny expected this to happen, as someone must have told them about their stash. The soldiers take Richard and get into their vehicle. Suddenly, the car explodes due to an attack by Rhodes, Branwell, Mike, and Maureen. Danny attacks Rhodes and he points a gun at him, but he puts it away upon Branwell's order. Branwell has a conversation with Danny and offers him shelter, but Danny refuses. During this chat, Branwell quotes a saying, "He who places his brother in the land is everywhere." The saying can mean multiple things according to the context you use it in, but the way Branwell used it, he meant to say that anyone who buries their loved one becomes a part of the earth. Hence, they also become a part of it. Okay, guys, this is a pretty long scene. I always say chapter for some reason. So let's get into this. So basically, Danny's reflecting back on what happened in the last chapter, and he's basically venting and telling this to Ben. And he talks about how he can be so dumb to think that they were actually going to hunt badgers. And also, he can't believe that he pointed a gun at a family. So, as we all know, Danny is pretty soft hearted. He doesn't believe in the survival of the fittest. Like, he doesn't act upon it that to like extreme extent. So, he's shocked at how he's changing. And we also get to know, as I told you guys before, that the CDT are evil. They poisoned the sick and the injured. As I told you, they are a liability, and not having sick and injured is more beneficial for the CDT. They don't have to waste their supplies on the sick and the injured. So, anyways, we also get to know that Ken, who we met a few chapters back, had died from eating that food. And we also see that the soldiers are not taking this seriously. The CDT soldiers are, of course, as evil as them, and they're acting inhumanely, and they switch up the food lines to kill random people for entertainment. Pure entertainment. This is what you call evil at its finest. Anyways, an armored car comes outside Danny's house. Danny's dad goes, checks it out, and when Danny's dad gets to know that there's trouble, he warns Danny by speaking loudly and saying that he's the only one left. He's the only surviving person. And Danny, he's a smart kid. He hears this and hides him and his brother. So over here we see a few soldiers from the CDT basically hold Danny's dad at gunpoint, take their supplies. And over here, when you see that Danny says that he expected this to happen, we really get to see how people snitch on each other, and how people are willing to do anything to get to another person's supplies. Same with the CDT. They are an organization that is supposed to keep the people safe, but they're actually stealing from the people. So the soldiers basically abduct Richard, Danny's dad, and load back into their car. At this point, Rhodes, Branwell, Mike, and Maureen. Branwell is the leader of Masada, and they cause the car to explode, killing Danny's dad. Danny and Ben are horrified. Danny attacks Rhodes, and Rhodes pretty hardcore, so he points a gun at the kid, and upon Branwell's orders, he didn't want to, but he removes the gun. Then Branwell basically has a conversation with Danny, and Branwell says that he's willing to offer him shelter. He's willing to offer Danny and Ben both shelter. And during this, basically, Danny refuses him because he's like, anybody who's a friend of Rhodes is an enemy of mine. And there's this quote that Branwell says: "He who places his brother in the land is everywhere." Okay, so this can mean multiple things, but one of my understandings is that he meant to say, okay, let's go back to this so I can read it. Okay, so in my understanding, he meant to say that he who buries, he actually saw Danny's mom, and he pointed to the corpse and he's like, he who buries his brother, not brother, but loved one, he who buries his loved one in the earth is basically everywhere, because okay, so they are relatives, they are related. So when you bury your loved one, you are related to your loved one, so your loved one becomes a part of the earth, and you also become a part of the entire earth. Hope you guys understand that. It was pretty confusing. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.